live.
A very good morning to all my dear students, very learned teachers, and everyone else who is watching us here live on YouTube. It is such a pleasure to be a part of your teaching learning process. But of course, before we move ahead, there is some social messages that we want to give you. So first message is CAP. A very good morning to all my dear students, very learned teachers, and everyone else who is watching us here live on YouTube. Okay. It is such a pleasure what is CAP? To be a part of your teaching learning process.
Silent the phone.
Ahead, there is the slide is not moving. Some social messages that we want to give you. So and stop sharing, please, Nandi ma'am, you share it, okay?
Okay.
Students, very learned teachers, and everyone else who is watching us here live on YouTube. Okay. It is such a pleasure to be a part of your teaching learning process.
Silent the phone.
Ahead, there is the slide is not moving. Some social. Okay, so once again, a very good morning. And again, very extremely sorry for the technical problem, but okay, let's start with CAB. A few social messages that we always begin with. So what is CAB? CAB is a behavior. That means wear a mask, follow for physical distancing, and of course, very important, maintain hand hygiene. So you're supposed to do all this to avoid any COVID infection. Let's move to the next social message. ये है चलो लड़ें लड़ाई युद्ध प्रदूषण के विरुद्ध. So whenever you're on a two-wheeler or a four-wheeler, don't forget to turn off the engine whenever you see a red light. Right, so now let's come to today's session, the English language session. But as usually we tell you that this is not just one person doing a session, but a whole team. So meet our team. So the team leader is a very inspiring and motivating one, and her name is Nandini Sarangal, and she is my co-facilitator also for today. Good morning, Nandini ma'am.
Good morning, Seema.
And of course, with us, the whole team is Rajni Gemini, Sonia Makhija, Seema Kumar, that is me, Anjali Chauhan, Vandana Harit, Manish Sharma, Swati Chaudhary, and Poonam Sagar. Okay, so today's session. Now, as we told you last time, it is part 2 of Discovering Tut. The saga continues. And as you know, now that Tut is not a thing or a place, but Tut is a person, Tutankhamun. Okay, and the facilitators for today, you know us very well, our team leader, Nandini Sarangal, and myself, Seema Kumar. Over to you, Nandini ma'am.
Okay, a very good morning and a very warm welcome to all who have joined us in Discovering Tut, But. Oh, it's rhyming, Tut, But. Before moving ahead to explore further, it is very important to resolve your queries. Our students are so inquisitive, Seema ma'am, and they want to know more about the belief behind mummification, constructing tombs, and their journey to afterlife and resurrection. So first, let's visit Tut's tomb.
Tutankhamun's tomb is just 4 small chambers, each no more than 14 feet wide. At the heart of the tomb is a sparsely decorated burial room, modestly painted and with no carvings. Hidden in the walls, mysterious niches once held sacred statues. A Shabti, to come to life as the pharaoh's servant, and the jackal god of the dead, Anubis. Tutankhamun's burial chamber is filled with magical decoration. But beside it, the rest of the tomb is left bare. This simple tomb is unlike any other royal tomb in the valley.
Okay, so students, we had showed you a few things pertaining to Tutankhamun's tomb in our last session, and we actually showed you this video to give you an idea of what things were found and how the tomb looked like. So now you had many questions pertaining to why, what was their belief or purpose of all this. So it was their belief in immortality. Sorry. Okay. Like in our culture, as we say that it's body that dies, not the soul, it takes some other form, shape or body. कहते हैं ना हमारे यहाँ पे भी कि शरीर मर जाता है पर आत्मा नहीं मरती, ऐसे ही उनके यहाँ पर भी इमोर्टैलिटी, उनके यहाँ पर तो ये था कि आत्मा मरती नहीं है और फिर वापस उसी शरीर को आके वो उस शरीर में आ जाती है, एंड दैट बॉडी अगेन इट अटेन्स लाइफ. तो उसी बिलीफ की वजह से they had all such tombs and so many things buried with the dead, especially the kings and the queens of the royal families. So it but Egyptians believed in life after death. Number one, there are two things. Number one, life after that death, मरने के बाद जो उनको एक लाइफ मिलती है, और उस लाइफ में इफ दे आर सक्सेसफुल, जो कि उनके कोई स्टैंडर्ड नॉर्म्स हैं या जो उनका पैसेजेस हैं, देन देयर इज the part where the soul actually reunites with the body. So let's see what is that. Okay, so this is the body, and it was not easy actually. It needed a lot of preparation, some standard norms for the journey of the soul to afterlife. And how does this journey begin? अब इस जर्नी को हम फटाफट आपको जस्ट इन 2 मिनट्स, जैसा कि आप लोग चाहते थे, तो हम आपको एक बार एक्सप्लेन कर देते हैं कि ये क्या उनके बिलीफ थे. व्हाट वाज देयर बिलीफ ऑफ दिस जर्नी ऑफ द सोल. द बॉडी इज mummified by a team of priests. As you can see, there are these priests who are mummifying the body, who remove every organ except the heart. So in this next picture you can see the heart. So why? Because the heart is the seat of emotion, memory and intelligence, and then the body is stuffed with a salt called natron and wrapped in resin soaked linen woven with charms for protection, and it is topped with a heart scarab amulet. ये आप देख सकते हैं ऑन योर स्क्रीन. ये एमुलेट है. आपने अक्सर मूवीज में द ममी रिटर्न्स, इन मूवीज में इस एमुलेट को देखा होगा. उस समय पे सोचते होंगे कि ये क्या चीजें हैं. अब आपको ये आगे जब जर्नी में पता चलेगा, यू विल कम टू नो व्हाई दिस एमुलेट, व्हाट वाज द पर्पस ऑफ दिस एमुलेट. एंड देन द नेक्स्ट वन, this particular picture shows that how the spirit now is moving for its journey. उसकी नेक्स्ट पिक्चर में आप देख सकते हैं कि स्पिरिट की जो आत्मा है, उसकी जो जर्नी है, सोल की जर्नी शुरू हो गई है. सो लेट्स सी नाउ ऑन योर स्क्रीन, दिस इज द सोल. और ये क्या है, सोल का क्या काम है, जैसे हमने आपको बताया, उसको उस जर्नी को कंप्लीट करना है. और इफ यू रिमेंबर, there are a lot of murals and lot of inscriptions on the walls. वो inscriptions क्या हैं? What are those inscriptions? They are just like guidebook. वो magic spells और वो सब उनको help करते हैं. किसके लिए? For the soul. It helps soul for that particular journey. So the goal of the 2-month process of this mummification is to preserve the body as an ideal form with which the spirit can eventually reunite. तो अभी आफ्टर लाइफ के बाद इफ द सोल इज सक्सेसफुल इन दैट जर्नी, तो उसको रीयूनाइट होने का मौका मिल जाएगा, एंड द बॉडी विल अगेन कम टू लाइफ, जैसा कि उनका मानना था. बट फर्स्ट दैट स्पिरिट मस्ट पास थ्रू द डुएट. अब डुएट क्या है? वो जो जर्नी है, वो जो पैसेज है अंडरवर्ल्ड, उसको कहते हैं डुएट. नाउ दैट्स अ टफ जर्नी. आसान नहीं है. कैसी जर्नी है? इट्स अ जर्नी विद लेक्स ऑफ फायर, मैजिकल गेट्स, और उन मैजिकल गेट्स को कौन प्रोटेक्ट कर रहे हैं? फियरसम बीस्ट्स, क्रोकोडाइल्स, ये सब इसको गार्ड कर रहे हैं. और इनमें से मोस्ट डेंजरस, जो अभी मैंने आपको ये पिक दिखाई है, द मोस्ट डेंजरस इज एप एप. एप एप क्या है? द सर्पेंट, एक तरह का सांप है, गॉड ऑफ destruction waiting to swallow the soul. तो अब सोल को इस रास्तों से, इन डेंजरस पाथ से होकर निकलना है. और कहाँ पहुंचेगी सोल अगर वो सक्सेसफुल होती है इन पाथ से निकलने के लिए, और इन रास्तों से निकलने के लिए उसे किसकी जरूरत है? मैजिक स्पेल्स. आप उसके हाथ में देख रहे हैं, उसके हाथ में एक स्क्रॉल है. स्क्रॉल मालूम है क्या होता है? जो गोल गोल राउंड करके पेपर को, पेपायरस एक्चुअली उस समय पे यूज होता था. तो स्क्रॉल है जिसके अंदर मैजिक स्पेल्स हैं, वर्ड्स हैं, कोड्स हैं. एंड देन द सोल रीचेज कहाँ पे? The soul reaches the hall of Ma'at. Ma'at, M-A-A-T होता है, but इसकी pronunciation is Ma'at. And this Ma'at is the goddess of truth and justice. अब एक stage cover कर ली. Now the soul has covered one stage. Now it's the second challenge. Second challenge क्या है? It's time for final challenge. He is judged by 42 assessor of gods. अब यहाँ पे अगर आप देखें तो इस तरीके से सोल है यहाँ पे, एंड दीज आर द 42 गॉड्स. और उनका क्या काम है? हु मस्ट बी कन्विंस्ड दैट ही हैज लिव्ड अ राइटियस लाइफ. अब क्या ये गॉड्स क्या कन्विंस होंगे किस बात से? कि सोल हैड लिव्ड अ राइटियस लाइफ. इफ दे आर कन्विंस्ड, they will allow soul to move ahead, but for that the soul must address each god by its name. तो ये सब चीजों को याद रखने के लिए ही इतने सारे इंस्क्रिप्शंस और इतने सारे मैजिक स्पेल्स, और वहां पर जो फ्यूनररी जो टेक्स्ट होते थे, उनके जो कॉफिन है उसके ऊपर टेक्स्ट लिखा हुआ है, उनकी जो वॉल्स हैं उन पे टेक्स्ट लिखे हुए हैं, उनके मैजिक स्पेल्स लिखे हुए हैं, कोड्स हैं, लैंग्वेज हैं, कई तरह के और चीजें हैं जो उनको हेल्प करेंगी इस पैसेज से निकलने के लिए, इन गॉड्स को प्लीज करने के लिए, कन्विंस करने के लिए. अब याद है एमुलेट, जो ये वाला एमुलेट की हमने बात बताई थी कि ये एमुलेट, अब इस एमुलेट का क्या काम है? दिस एमुलेट हैज वर्ड्स इंस्क्राइब्ड ऑन इट. इसके ऊपर कुछ वर्ड्स इंस्क्राइब होते हैं. वो क्या होते हैं? डू नॉट स्टैंड एज ए विटनेस अगेंस्ट मी. इसका मतलब क्या है? ये हार्ट के ऊपर रखा जाता है, दिल के ऊपर रखा जाता है, सो दैट जब ये गॉड्स, when these gods are asking this soul about the righteous deeds, उसने क्या सही किया, क्या गलत किया, ताकि हार्ट जो है, अगर उसने कुछ छोटा मोटी कोई गलती की है तो वो हार्ट उस बारे में ना बता दे. तो ये एमुलेट जो होता है उसको प्रोटेक्ट करके रखता है, so that the heart doesn't tell gods if anything wrong is done by the body. तो एमुलेट समझ में आया? You might have seen many amulets in the movie The Mummy Return. याद है वो छोटे छोटे से एमुलेट्स जो उसके अंदर से बॉडीज के, जो ममीफाइड बॉडीज, उनमें से निकला करते थे. Now it's the moment of truth. You can see this picture, the moment of truth. क्या है? गोल्डन स्केल, एक बहुत बड़ा सा तराजू है, और इसके पास कौन खड़े हैं? एन्यूबिस. अभी आपने देखी थे तट की टूम में, you had seen शाप्ती and Anubis. तो अब गॉड एन्यूबिस का क्या काम है? He is with the weighing scale. वो क्या करेंगे? This is done by God Anubis. If the heart is heavier than feather, heart क्या है? Is wrongdoings. If it is heavier than the feather, then the soul will be eaten by this animal. ये एक डेंजरस बड़ा डिफरेंट एनिमल है. क्रोकोडाइल बीच में, लेपर्ड है बीच में, हिपोपोटामस है. तो ये एक ऐसा एनिमल है जो कि उस सोल को खा जाएगा. इट्स गोइंग टू ईट द सोल इफ heart is heavier. But as you can see, heart is not heavier. Which is heavier? Feather. इसका मतलब wrong doings जो है कितनी है? Just feather like, बहुत हल्की है. It's just like feather. Okay. And the next part is finally Ra. Ra is sun god. जो sun god हैं वो क्या करते हैं? वो soul को कहाँ लेकर जाते हैं? Takes him to Osiris, the god of the underworld, and wherein the soul gets approval to enter afterlife, cultivate a land with the help of Shapti. So last pic में आप देख सकते हैं वो Shapti doll. Remember, टट के टूम में आपने अभी देखी थी शाप्ती डॉल. उसका क्या काम है? इट्स गोइंग टू हेल्प द सोल टू कल्टिवेट अ लैंड. और अगर उसके अंदर वो सक्सेसफुल होते हैं तभी उनको सोल को रीयूनाइट होने का मौका मिल पाएगा. Is that okay, Seema ma'am?
Wow, ma'am, that was So interesting. Now I can understand why Egyptians took so much pain to just, mummify karne ke liye queens and kings and all the important people so that they can have a life after death. Just imagine. Okay, so children, before we move ahead, let's see what you remember from the last session. We had a last session and we told you about Tutankhamun, his tomb. So let us move ahead and do a little activity. So on your screen, you can see a timeline of Tutankhamun's burial and discovery. You remember Tutankhamun's tomb was discovered? So on one side, you have the timeline, the years, and now on the other side, you're going to get the events. What events? Nandi ma'am, let's see the events that happened in these. Okay, so all of them together. Yes. So the first one is CT scanning of the mummy, X-ray done by an anatomy professor, burial of the young pharaoh, discovery of the tomb by Howard Carter. Now, please, children, use your chat box and let it run and tell me what happened 3,200 years back. What happened from these four options? ये जो चार options हैं, आपको क्या लगता है? I mean, this is even a common sense. So, क्या याद है आपको 3,200 years back क्या हुआ था? Let's see. Children have started writing AD. Wonderful. Yeah. Okay, so yes. Okay, Neha Sharma, Dinku, Priya Yadav, Abhay Gupta, and Jitendra Kumar. Wonderful. We can show them the answer. So 3,200 years back, we had the burial of the young pharaoh. Okay, so whoever said D was not right, and Nandi ma'am has already revealed me what happened 1922. And okay, so the next one is 1968, X-ray done by an anatomy professor, and 2005, the CT scanning of the mummy, the present time, and the present time is also 15 years back. It was done in 2005 and now is 2020. So Nani ma'am has been very kind and she has given you all the answers, but we are very thankful to all of the students who have given the answers here. Wonderful. So Manish Pandit, Samiksha Goyal, Rahul Kumar, and Yuvraj Singh, cool point. I don't know what that name sound is for. Rajiv Jain. Thank you, children. Thank you so much. And that was a very good effort. Wonderful.
Wonderful. Okay, so let's start reading the next part of the chapter, the story. As we said last time, that we are calling it a story because it was a new story, which was covered by the author. So he was the last of his family's line. Students, you can see on your screen, you have got this family tree of the 18th dynasty of Egypt. So he was the last of his family line. So can you see this one? Tutankhamun. After him, the dynasty came to an end. So he was, you can say to some extent, he was the last king of this dynasty, because after that, just for a short period of time, there was a brother of his, Semenkhare, who became the royal king, but that was for such a short time. But the dynasty came to an end with Tutankhamun, and his funeral was the death rattle of a dynasty. So it was not the death of Tutankhamun, it was the death of this dynasty. But the particular, so let me just show you what a dynasty is. It's a line of hereditary rulers of a country. तो जैसे हमने लास्ट टाइम आपको मुगल किंग्स के बारे में बताया था, तो उसी तरीके से जैसे मुगल एम्पायर था, मुगल डायनेस्टी थी, इसी तरीके से ये 18th डायनेस्टी थी इजिप्शियन किंग्स की. Or but the particulars of his passing away and its aftermath. What's an aftermath? After effects of a significant or unpleasant event over here are unclear, still not very clear. Uske liye bhi will show you a video, because this particular story was written in 2005, and after 15 years, we are in 2020. In between, there are so many other discoveries that happened. There have been many researches on this, so you'll come to know about few other things about Tutankhamun. And let us talk further about Amenhotep III. Amenhotep III, you can see on your screen, Amenhotep III. कौन है Amenhotep III? Tutankhamun's grandfather. Although over here in the text they're writing Tut's father or grandfather, because by 2005 it was probably not very clear, but in the preceding 15 years many further discoveries revealed that Amenhotep III was his grandfather. तो Amenhotep III was a very great king. जैसे हमारे यहाँ पे अकबर को माना जाता है, मुगल अगर हम डायनेस्टी की बात करें तो किंग अकबर. Similarly, in 18th dynasty, Amenhotep III was a great king, was a powerful pharaoh who ruled for almost 4 decades. So you can see on your screen Amenhotep III, and he ruled for 4 decades. Decades is 10 years, so almost 40 years. So he was a great king at the height of 18th dynasty, golden age. So that was the golden age of 18th dynasty. So, but after Amenhotep III, if you I'm going to show it to you again. After Amenhotep III, his son Akhenaten, you can pronounce it like that because it's Egyptian pronunciation. Sometimes it's difficult to understand, but still, it's Akhenaten who was the son of Amenhotep III. So, what happened? His son Amenhotep IV, actually his earlier name was Amenhotep IV, succeeded him and initiated one of the strangest period in the history of ancient Egypt. So when he came to throne, when he ascended to throne, it is said that it was the strangest period. आप अपनी स्क्रीन पे दे सकते हैं ये Amenhotep IV, और जिनका नाम आगे चल के अभी आप पढ़ेंगे, नाम ही changed his name Akhenaten, और यहाँ पे he is with his family. यहाँ पे उनकी जो वाइफ है नेफरतीति, उनकी 3 daughters हैं, वैसे तो 3 और daughters उसके बाद इनकी हुई थी. He had 6 daughters. तो इसके अलावा उनकी जो स्ट्रेंज कहा जा रहा है कि ये जो उनका स्ट्रेंजेस्ट पीरियड था, व्हाई वाज इट? द न्यू pharaoh promoted the worship of Aten. Aten is sun. आप ये देख सकते हैं, ये ओरिजिनल जो स्टोन इंस्क्रिप्शन है जो उनके टाइम की उनकी स्टोन आप देख सकते हैं, ये टूटी हुई है यहां से. इसको कंप्लीट करने के लिए यू हैव बीन शोन दिस पिक्चर. सेम पिक्चर है बट इट इज इन द फॉर्म ऑफ पिक्चर, और ये हमने आपको स्टोन इंस्क्रिप्शन दिखाया है जो उस टाइम का डिस्प्ले करने के लिए, विच इज शोइंग द फैमिली ऑफ द pharaoh अखनातन. और अपना नाम उन्होंने चेंज क्यों करा? क्योंकि यहाँ पर लास्ट में अगर आप देख सकते हैं उनके नाम के पीछे क्या लगा है? ATEN, आटिन. आटिन इज सन गॉड, मतलब जो सूरज भगवान है, तो वो अपने आप को उस सूरज भगवान का पुत्र मानते थे. इनफैक्ट अ कनेक्शन बिटवीन हिज पीपल एंड गॉड. उनका क्या कहना था कि सन गॉड और उनके लोगों के बीच में वो ही वाज द ओनली कनेक्शन. तो एक तरह से वो भी भगवान हुए. और द सर्वेंट ऑफ आटिन, अपने आप को कहा जरूर उन्होंने सर्वेंट ऑफ आटिन, बट बेसिकली ही प्रिज्यूम्ड हिमसेल्फ एज गॉड, son of God, and moved the religious capital from the old city. So there are few more pictures where he is worshipping Aten. तो उन्होंने सब गॉड्स, जितने आमुन गॉड जो और गॉड थे, उन सबको उन्होंने डिस्ट्रॉय कर दिया. और यहाँ पे यू कैन सी he is worshipping God's son, and then he also moved his capital, religious capital, from the old city of Thebes. तो पहले कैपिटल कहाँ था? Thebes. और उन्होंने अब वो कहाँ लेकर चले गए उसको? अमरनाथ. So there is a story behind it. वो कैसे नाइल रिवर में जब वो ट्रैवल कर रहे थे तो he found a place जहाँ पे हिल्स के बीच में सन नजर आ रहा था, and he said, okay, I'm going to place a new city over here. यहाँ पर we are going to build a new city. बिल्कुल deserted land था, बिल्कुल desert था वहां पे, but still वो उन्होंने अपना पूरा अपना रिलीजियस कैपिटल, अपना खुद का पैलेस और टेम्पल्स वहीं पर उन्होंने बना दिए, नोन एज अमरनाथ. तो उस जगह को उन्होंने क्या नाम दिया था? अमरनाथ.
Wow, that was some history that we were talking about the Egyptians. But what did Akhenaten do? He further shocked the country by attacking Amun. Now, children, who is Amun? जैसे हमने कहा था Tut कौन है? So, as Nandi ma'am explained, Amun was the god, an ancient Egyptian god, and he gained importance only when he fused with the sun god. So Amun and sun god together they became Ra. You remember a journey that Nandi ma'am had talked about? Kis tarike se Ra picks up the soul and puts him where he belonged. So Amun plus sun god became Ra. And Amun को एक और चीज माना जाता था that he is considered the champion of the poor and the troubled. तो जिसको भी परेशानी होती थी, they used to worship Amun. Now, what he did, Akhenaten, he literally smashed all his images and closing his temples. So let's see the other slides, Nandi ma'am. What he did? Yes, Akhenaten. So this is Amun god, जिसका face पूरा disfigure कर दिया गया है. And the next slide. And not only just Akhenaten, but also he wanted to remove every trace of any emperor before. तो यहाँ पे आपको Amenhotep दिख रहे हैं जिनका face पूरा disfigure कर दिया गया है. And as Ray Johnson says, and if we can move ahead, so we can see another picture, and this is Amenhotep 1. Now, it must have been a horrific time. Horrific, full of horror. जब आप horror movies देखते हैं कितना बुरा time आपको कितना महसूस होता है. कभी आप टेररिस्ट अटैक के बारे में सुनते हैं आपको कैसा फील होता है. तो ऐसा ही एक समय था वो. That was the time, a horrific time, said Ray Johnson, director of the University of Chicago's Research Center in Luxor, the site of ancient Thebes. तो जहाँ site of ancient Thebes है वहाँ पे Ray Johnson, he is working and he is the director. What he said that it must have been a horrific time. The family that had ruled for centuries, ये जो family थी, the Amenhotep I, it started and ended with Tutankhamun. So hundreds of years, they ruled. The family had ruled for centuries, was coming to an end. And then Akhenaten went a little wacky. So what is wacky? Wacky is kind of, amusing, slightly odd or a peculiar way. अगर normally कहा जाए तो he just went a little mad. मतलब वो इतना सनकी हो गया कि उसने बुरी तरीके से अमुन के जितने भी स्कल्पचर्स थे वो तोड़ने शुरू कर दिए और टेम्पल शट डाउन कर दिए. And then after Akhenaten's death, a mysterious ruler named Semenkhare appeared briefly and exited without hardly a trace. So बस थोड़े time के लिए, and it's a mysterious ruler. But now some of the reports have come, and as we can see, Semenkhare, he was also a son of Akhenaten. So थोड़े time के लिए he ruled, but then he just disappeared without a trace. Nobody knows why he just disappeared. Okay, so now Semenkhare has gone. And then a very young Tutankhaten took the throne. Now just look at the word, look at the name. हम Tut की बात कर रहे हैं शुरू से, but हम बोल रहे हैं Tutankhamun. But यहाँ पे क्या लिखा है? What is written here? And then a very young Tutankhaten, took the throne. Remember, his father's name is Akhenaten. So वहीं से the Khaten word had come. So his name was Tutankhaten, took the throne. King Tut, as he's widely known today, and of course, jitna glorified unka name hai, he's really glorified, and everybody knows him as King Tut. The boy king soon changed his name to Tutankhamun, living image of the Amun. Remember Amun? So half god, half emperor. So this was Tutankhamun. He was just a 9-year-old boy. We don't know why he changed, to Amun. But yes, what he did, he just restored all the old ways. What were the old ways? The ways of the Amun, when people worshipped Amun. So सब कुछ restore कर दिया उन्होंने. And he reigned for about 9 years. See, 9-year-old child and 9 year more. So obviously, as you know, It was like 18 to 19 years old when he died unexpectedly. Nobody knows how he died. And that is one of the reasons कि हम इतने mystified, mysterious उसकी death को मानते हैं, and all of us want to know how he died and when he died. Okay, so now think like an Egyptian.
It's time for a little activity. Let our students also participate. So students, quickly on your screen, you have got a few jumbled words. What could be this sentence? You have to unjumble these words to form a meaningful sentence. Quickly, let us see if you're able to do that. The new pharaoh promoted the worship of Aten. The new Aten worship of the promoted the pharaoh. The new Aten promoted the pharaoh of the worship. Which one is it? Quickly on your screen. Sima ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. I'm just holding the phone in my hand and looking at the chat.
Even
and
I
very important. Yes.
phone.
Yes, and very important for your children. These kind of questions will come in your examinations. So pay attention, please. Okay, so we've started getting answer. Okay, some are writing C, some are writing A. Okay, okay. So let's give them the answer, Nandini ma'am.
Okay.
The answer is A.
A. Yeah, right.
And I'm going to give some names: Chitrakshi Mahajan, Himanshu Goyal, Sakshi Srivastav, Shubham. All of them have given. Anjali Kumari and your advisor. Wow, what a name. Our advisor has also given all the correct answers. Okay, so the next one.
Let's ask them to do the second one. So quickly unjumble these words and make a sentence. The boy
We just spoke to you about this. You just gave them this.
The boy king soon changed his name to Tutankhamun. The boy Tutankhamun soon changed his name to king. And Tutankhamun, the boy king, changed soon his name to. Actually, even with just a little bit of understanding of these words, you can do this. You need, in fact, if anybody who has not read the chapter may also be able to do this.
Yes, and we've already got the answers, ma'am. So let's tell them the answer. Again, the answer was A. So I have Balam Rawat, Himani Maurya, Pavan Hello Roy, Love Kumar, and many more. Shivani Rawat, Nikhil Pandey, all of them have given the right answer.
And we have actually made it very easy for them. So A, answer A. Okay. The last one for them. A shape from a gray head took scattering of pixels. A scattering of pixels took shape from a gray head. A gray head took shape from a scattering of pixels. Just a permutation combination kind of thing. So arrange karna hai words ko to make a meaningful sentence. If at all you haven't read about this, even then you can unjumble the words, make a meaningful sentence.
Okay, ma'am, I'm getting answers, but not the right answer till now.
But you can tell the correct answer to our students so that.
Yes. So the correct answer is a gray head took shape from a scattering of pixels. Okay. So the answer is C. Yes, okay, I got it. Deepti, Mahinder Kumar, Vicky, and everybody has given. Terrific. Well done, children. Wonderful. Okay, regardless of his fame and speculations about his fate, Tut is one of mummy among many in Egypt. Okay, चाहे फेट की बात करें या फेम की बात करें, but it is one of the mummies, you know. वहां पे बहुत सारी mummies हैं. How many? No one knows. The Egyptian Mummy Project, which began an inventory in late 2003, had recorded almost 600 so far and is still counting. So now we know that there are so many mummies in Egypt, but they were not listed earlier. Once Egyptian Mummy Project was made in 2003, they started listing how many mummies had been recorded. So in 2005, almost 600 mummies had been recorded. मतलब उनको 600 mummies मिल चुकी थी. But now let's talk about 2020. तो almost आप believe नहीं करेंगे, over 1 million mummies have been discovered. और उसमें बहुत सारी mummies तो animals की हैं. So especially cats. Maybe cats were also considered something to do with the afterlife. So many mummies have been, over 1 million mummies have been discovered till now. The next phase, scanning the mummies with a portable CT machine. Okay, fine. Discovery कर ली, पर अब क्या करें? We've got the mummies. So the next phase is scanning the mummies with a CT machine and portable, which can be taken from one place to the other. Donated by National Geographic Society and Siemens. So they दो हमारे organizations हैं, companies हैं, जिन्होंने donate किया है. So they're working for the welfare of the society. Its manufacturer. King Tut is one of the first mummies to be scanned. See, his mummy was found. He was insignificant king, लेकिन उनकी mummy first one थी to be scanned. In death, as in life, moving regally ahead of his countrymen. So the first mummy may be insignificant, but he moved regally. अपने सारे countrymen और सारे emperors से पहले he was scanned and taken ahead. A CT machine scanned the mummy head to toe, creating 1,700 digital X-ray images in cross section. So CT machine ने क्या किया? It created 1,700 digital X-rays. Cross section, ma'am, please दिखाइए. So cross section is cutting, and not originally cutting, but the X-rays which went through the body were in all directions. Tut's head scanned in 0.62 millimeter slices to register its intricate structures. अब 1 millimeter जानते हैं कितना छोटा होता है, उसका भी 0.62 यानी उससे भी छोटे slices, मतलब इतने छोटे छोटे details to get the intricate, very complicated intricate details. Takes on an airy detail in the resulting image. So जो resulting image आपके सामने आती है, so it's an airy detail. So let's see how Tutankhamun looked. So this is the image that was given to us after Tutankhamun's whole cross sections were made to in one picture.
Oh my God, Seema ma'am, it's really sometimes it is frightening, yes. Sometimes it is fascinating, and sometimes it's really strange to know about such things. So the night of the scan, workmen carried Tut from the tomb in his box like pallbearers. Pallbearers क्या होते हैं? Let us see pallbearers. A person helping to carry a coffin at a funeral. तो आप देख सकते हैं इन दिस पिक कैसे पॉल बेयरर्स जो हैं वो लेकर जा रहे हैं टट की मम्मी को फॉर द स्कैनिंग. दे क्लाइम्ड अ रैंप एंड अ फ्लाइट ऑफ स्टेयर्स इनटू द swirling sand outside. Look, it is a desert. बिल्कुल डेजर्ट एरिया है और कैसे वहां पर swirling sand outside, बाहर हवा चल रही है और जो धूल है, जो सैंड है वो उड़ रही है. Then rose on an hydraulic lift into the trailer that held the scanner. और कैसे उसको लेकर गए एक hydraulic lift में, उसको मम्मी को बहुत carefully लेकर जाना था. So there was a hydraulic lift. और 20 minutes later, two men emerged, sprinted for an office nearby, and returned with a pair of white plastic fans. And the $1 million scanner had quit because of sand in a cooler fan. क्योंकि इतनी सैंड है कि जो फैन चलते हैं उसके अंदर, देखिए बहुत सारी ऐसी मशीनरी होती है जिसमें फैंस चलते हैं और उसकी सीमेंस की इतनी महंगी मशीन पर उसके फैंस को रिप्लेस करना पड़ा. Again, Seema ma'am, कोई कर्स था, I don't know.
Yes, as the guard joked, even I'm like feeling okay, maybe we are not cursed, I hope.
So they said the curse of the pharaoh, when such things they stop working or something is happening which was not expected, something unexpected is happening, people actually, especially people from that belief, people from that state who are living in that country who still have those beliefs, joked a guard nervously. And eventually the substitute fans worked well, but सब कुछ ठीक हो गया. Substitute fans मतलब जो additional fans थे वो ठीक चले. And to finish the procedure is the series of steps जो उन्होंने सोचे थे. After checking no data had been lost, the technicians turned Tut over to the workman who carried him back to his tomb. अब CT scan के बाद वापस उस मम्मी को tomb में tomb, जो उनका जहाँ पे उनका coffin रखा था. Less than 3 hours, 3 घंटे का time लगा, and after he was removed from his coffin, the pharaoh again rested in peace where the funerary priests had laid him so long ago.
Back in the trailer, a technician pulled up astonishing images of Tut on a computer screen. So what is a trailer? So the picture you can see on your side is a trailer. And Nandi ma'am, just yes, it is an unpowered vehicle. Unpowered vehicle, if you could see, जो पीछे वाला हिस्सा है, that's the trailer part. And आगे जो move करता है. So वहां पे अंदर बैठ के लोगों ने देखा कंप्यूटर स्क्रीन पे all the images that had come. A gray head took shape from a scattering of pixels. Yes, so astonishing, very surprising, amazing. And this is the gray head that took place as we told about the scattering of pixels. कैसे scatter कर जाती हैं pixels, फैल जाती हैं, and then we get an image. And the technician spun and tilted it in every direction. ऐसे घुमाया वैसे घुमाया, in all the direction. What we saw was a neck vertebrae appeared as clearly as in an anatomy class, जैसे कि MBBS में शायद anatomy class में पढ़ाया जाता है. This neck vertebrae, the vertebra on your neck, it came, you could see that. Other images revealed a hand. So the next image, which you will see, was a hand of Tutankhamun. Several views of rib cage, and the rib cage was also revealed. And as you can see with the two arrows, the bones were missing, the ribs were missing. And a transection. What is a transection? Again, minute of illumination on display screen, which combine to form. मतलब बहुत सारे transactions होते हैं जिनसे एक image बनती है. And finally, a transaction of the skull. So you could see the skull of Tutankhamun. So next slide, please. Yes, so this is the skull of Tutankhamun. But for now, the pressure was off. इतना कुछ हो रहा था, everything was going. Finally, the pressure was off. आप समझ सकते हैं, हमारे यहाँ शादियां होती हैं तो जो मम्मी पापा होते हैं वो इतनी प्रॉब्लम में होते हैं कि जब शादी खत्म होके बेटी चली जाती है, and then the pressure is off. Okay, so same happened with Zahi Hawass. Sitting back in his chair, Zahi Hawass smiled. Remember Zahi Hawass, जो पूरे के पूरे मिशन के एक तरीके से in charge थे. So he was visibly relieved that nothing wrong had gone seriously. I didn't sleep last night, couldn't sleep. I was so worried. He was so worried that he couldn't sleep, but now he just wants to go and sleep. And now just look at this beautiful picture. By the time we left the trailer descending metal stairs to the sandy ground, the wind had stopped. So trailer में सारा काम हो गया, everything is done. Now we are descending down, coming down of the trailer. And what had happened? The wind was still. The wind had stopped. The winter air lay cold and still, like death itself. ऐसा लग रहा था कि death के जैसे silent, and no, the same way the air had become in this valley of the departed. What is departed? The valley of the dead kings of that time. No wind and a very horrifying type of atmosphere was there. Just above the entrance to the Tut's tomb stood Orion. See, you can see on your screen Orion. ये एक constellation है. The constellation you already must have known from your science classes. It is a group of stars forming a recognizable pattern. Stars हैं, उनको देख के आपको लगे कि हाँ ये कुछ मैच कर रहा है. आपने usually पतंग देखी होगी. You always saw a kite. You say, okay, those 7 stars make a kite. So constellation that the ancient Egyptians knew as the soul of Osiris. So this Orion was considered to be the soul of the Osiris. Okay, so as you can see, the soul of the Osiris as map, you can see the next image. Yes, so on your screen, you can see Osiris. Now compare Orion with this white-dressed god. This is Osiris. And next, please. Yes, the god of afterlife. Who is Osiris? He's the god of afterlife, watching over the boy king. So this constellation was watching over the boy king. And who's the boy king? The person in the center, and he is our King Tut or Tutankhamun. So this is our story of Tutankhamun, how interesting he was. but let's see an overview of the story. पूरा जो अभी तक हमने पढ़ा है, let's see what it all comes down to.
Egyptian power. Tut was just 9 years old when he rose to the throne. To his people, he was half man, half God. But until his discovery, Tut was unknown. There is almost no record of his life anywhere in Egypt, except on the walls of his tomb. Somehow, his life ended abruptly. No one knows exactly why. Inside the Cairo Museum, scientists are preparing to scan the most famous mummy in the world. What really killed him? The evidence is locked inside his bones, specific clues to confirm or rebut the theories of King Tut's passing. We know there are 3 plausible explanations. First, the war wound. Evidence of multiple sharp injuries could mean he suffered fatal blows in combat. Second, the accident. The bows and arrows, spears, and half a dozen chariots in Tut's tomb show just how much he loved the hunt. Multiple fractures could mean that some kind of crash killed him. Or did he die in a more sinister fashion? Evidence of a single fatal blow might mean a murder. Now, as the body moves through the scanner, the machine generates more than 1,500 images, each one a potential solution to his mystery. The mysterious hole in the head is perplexing. It seems like the perfect murder clue, evidence of a spear to the base of the skull. But it's far more likely that it was drilled. The Egyptians think the embalmers did it. The proof? The embalmers left a trail. In the CAT scan, you can see embalming fluid dripping down inside the hole just as it was poured. This first analysis has rewritten Tut's story. But then they see something that appears irrefutable. It's a sharp break in Tut's left leg. When the CAT scans pull back to a surface view, they can see 2 critical details. The kneecap is missing. The skin near the fracture appears torn away. And that's consistent with a battle wound. So picture a young king. He finds himself face to face with a Hittite warrior. A powerful blow to the leg. Racked with pain, he lies broken on the desert sands. The onset of gangrene would emerge in only a few days, racking his body with fever, eventually stopping his heart. In the Valley of the Kings, the CAT scan machine has been shut down. The legendary Tut returns to his coffin, safe once more. 3 millennia after he died, his final secrets revealed, the Golden Pharaoh lives on.
Wow, Nandini ma'am. Now I understand why we say that the saga continues, because nobody knows how he died. That was really a wonderful video.
And for that, we would like to acknowledge these sites, and especially for the videos, we would like to acknowledge National Geographic and other sites from where we have taken the videos and pictures for this session. And this is your home assignment. You can quickly take a screenshot, students. Mummies capture our imaginations and our hearts, full of secrets and magic. They were once people who lived and loved just as we do today. I believe we should honor these ancient dead and let them rest in peace. Write a debate either in favor or against this particular statement. So you have to write a debate. You can write in favor, yes, we should let them rest in peace, or we can write about that it is important that we know more about history through these mummies. So thank you all for attending this session.
Thank you so much, everyone. It was a pleasure being with you, and we'll be seeing you next week on the same day and same time, that is Wednesday. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. And the Google form link will be given to them. It will be in the description box. Thank you.
Right.